It's a very old CD that hasn't been kept in a case for quite some time.
Oh dear.
Is it gonna work? It's the best album. All of the best songs from their first EP, but played a lot better.
Let's have a gander what's going on in there. Little recording studio.
Speaking of which.
Are you ready?
What are we doing?
So, I've just woken up in the jam room that we're recording in, and we've got a really unusual setup going on. So I'm gonna show you around it before the band gets started. Okay, so you can see we've got a mixer set up here. That seems to be a bit loud. Let's turn that down a bit. Maybe that was there for a reason, we shall see. And it's connected to two computers. So if I show you, the mono out, which is this wire, is connected via, that wire is a USB to XLR interface, and that goes into this Windows computer, which I should probably turn on. It goes into the Windows computer, gives us basically it gives us the vocal and a tiny little bit of cajon. The reason there's such a little bit of cajon is because I'm going to use another thing to record behind there, which is the cajon area we set up yesterday. There's actually a chair behind that cajon and blanket arrangement, which makes a kind of rudimentary bass trap, I hope. It seems to sound all right, and the blankets are doing a good job of stopping it being too echoey. And then we've got an ordinary guitar line out. No, so what we've got, the guitar and the bass, and they're using line outs that go into channels, but there's no audio on these channels. These are only using the where is it? The monitors, which is this one and this one. This one and this one. And the levels they've got are set so that when they come out of monitor 1, monitor 2 and monitor 1, they go to the right channel respectively on an interface which is plugged into this computer. We also have these room mics which are also plugged into this computer. And you might be thinking, 2 interfaces on a computer, how are you going to manage that? Well, this computer is running Ubuntu Studio. So as you can see, I've got ardour running. And if I go to how do I open it? It's called Carla. Right. Where do I find it? Favorites. Ubuntu Studio controls. Audio setup. Right, I've done it slightly wrong here, because what I've done is I've started ardour without starting Jack. So let's just save this so that I've got that still. Close this. Right, now I want to start Jack. So Jack's like an underlying audio server that works on Linux and Mac, I think, as well. I don't know if Windows has got a version of it. when I was using Windows, it didn't. And that was 2012. So Right, so if we now go to ardour, and what do we call it? Joe's Friday. While that's loading, I'll quickly show you. So the other thing we've got, obviously, is a small PA system and a reverb unit, and that gives us the live vocal, basically. There's a little bit of cajon in there, but not a great deal was mixed in. And I think that's all the interesting stuff, really, apart from when we start to play and record. There's one more thing. So Jack is a utility that allows routing of audio through your computer, and there's a wonderful program called QJack CTRL, which will allow you to sort of use it as a visual patch bay. But there's also this program called Carla, which does the same thing but a lot better. And so these are all of our audio devices that are on the computer, and some of them, because they're being run concurrently, are using a system called I can't remember what it's called now. I shall put a bit of writing on the screen. And what it allows you to do is connect multiple interfaces to the system. But for some reason it's not finding the one I want. Okay, so I'm going to pull out the USB cord and put it back in of the one I want. And hopefully it'll appear here. If not, oh, well, it's not appearing there. Okay, I may have to do some restarting and stuff to no, that's the HDMI. Oh wait, it is appearing. Okay, I don't want it to be a master though. Okay, it is appearing there, so maybe it's appeared here. See if it will refresh if I go off and on. Interesting. Right, I'm going to try and investigate this without holding a camera. Right, so I figured out how to do it. I set the onboard audio as the master device, and then my other two audio devices, the Sub-Zero and the Ion thing, both have come up, which means actually I might be able to get another channel out of this, but I'm not sure. But yeah, so what will happen then is when we open Ardour, back up, where is it? Audio production, Ardour. And this one's called Joe's Friday. When we open that, sorry Joe, ruining your paperwork down there. This laptop's very old. So that works. What have we got connected to what here? Okay, first we're going to the mixer and we'll just fix that to the disc so that when we stop it, that noise won't happen again, because this is all connected up and channels are live. Also, the Sub-Zero doesn't have any mute buttons on its channel, which is really annoying, because that's probably the room mics feeding back like that. I would imagine. Anyway, so go back to the editor, just because I like the editor. Go back to color actually. So we've got ardour and all its inputs here, and we've got one called sub 1, which at the moment is connected to capture 1. So and what else is it? No. So we're going to disconnect sub 1 from that, and sub 1 is going to come from the Sub-Zero AI2, which is just AI2 in this instance, but yeah, it's the same thing. So I've called it sub 1 in ardour. There we go. So we should now have, if we arm the track and we look at what lead we've got in channel 1, it's the black one, which goes to this microphone. If I give it a little tickle, there we are. Let's see, there's our first channel. So if I now go to track and we add a track and we call this one sub 2, and do that again. Oh, this is going to be fun. Fix that to disk so it doesn't do that. Stop the playhead again. Go back to the color screen. I want to stop capture 2 from being connected to sub 2. Right, so actually I want that one to go there. Okay, so now we've got to do the guitar and the bass. What I could even do is turn the PA system down. That might stop the feedback when I add tracks. It is very early in the morning. Look, 8:33. Not lying. Right, okay. Editor. Track. Add track. We're going to call this one the guitar. And enclose. Right, yeah, cool, that didn't do that thing, but let's go to the mixer anyway and make that uniform with the others, just so we know what's going on and we don't trip ourselves over later, because everything will be the same. Go to color. Right now, so the guitar's going to come from the codec, which is being fed from the monitor outputs. Now, which one's going to monitor 1? The mint green one is the bass, so that one's the guitar. Let's go to channel 2, and channel 2 is monitor 1 all the way up. So monitor 1 is the guitar. Lovely. Right, so monitor 1 goes to the left, which is probably the first channel. So codec 1, that doesn't work. Codec 1 oh wait, for once it had actually connected it to the right thing. Well done, Carla. Okay, next one. Gonna add another track. Can add tracks in this view as well, just remembered. Coffee is kicking in. Let's do bass. Add and close. Make it the same as the others. And go to color. Connect it. Yeah, that one's done it correctly as well. Okay, so let's look at our setup here. Where do these wires come from? Oh, that's master audio. Okay, so if we zoom out of this a bit, just so we can get... So, what these are representations of the hardware and software, but sort of, you know, on a level playing field, and then it gives you infinite virtual wires to just connect the things, and it's made life so much easier when you need to connect an audio device to an audio device, because this wasn't the original way I had the setup in mind. You see, I originally had it where I was going to do the clean guitar and bass tracks into this computer, and I was going to do all of the mixed ones into this computer, but this computer is running Windows, and for some reason the driver was not able to recognize that the Mixmeister Ion thing has 2 channels. So we had to swap it to this configuration, which seems to be working. So let's give it a check then. Comes the bass. You shouldn't plug amplifiers in like that. It sends a large noise down the signal like that. But that was for demonstration purposes, so it's alright. So go back to Ardour and on the track. Right, so it's picking up on those room mics and that channel, but not that channel. Not that. So, yeah. That's exactly what we want by the looks of things. Yeah, it makes sense if we pick up bigger on sub 2 because sub 2 is over there. Right, so it all seems to be working. Excellent. Right, so actually I just managed to squeeze yet more separation out of this rude boy setup, because basically now the mono mixer lead has been moved to actually be the right. Yeah, so I'm just taking the right channel into this, which is now exclusively the vocal. I've swung this mic and this mic into 2 channels on here, and swung them all the way over to the left, and then taken an output from the left into the sub-0. So now the channel called sub 1 is actually using 2 microphones routed through this router and then routed back to the single input on there, to being that basically that channel is all cajon, and then I've still got my separation of guitar and bass and now vocals with no cajon in it. So I've got 3 pure tracks and pretty decent cajon track, which is also going to pick up some of the room, but I'll be able to pick out some better bass from it and stuff to add back in, and it'll really help with the mixing. So this will probably be quite fun to mix. One other thing I should add, because we are using the left and right for routing, also the effects, because we have got a reverb machine going, just a little bit, they also need to be panned to the correct channel, otherwise they'll bleed over into the cajon channel, which is using the left, as you can see with that and that one, both using the left, and the vocals is using the right, and that's the only thing using the reverb, so also right on the effects return. Other than that, check the diagram, which will be on the blog, and you'll probably be able to understand this sort of rustico setup a little bit more.
Curbside then. Are you ready? podcast. Am I ready?
Again?
No, I was at the wrong fucking note.
Okay, it's alright.
It's right, I'll fuck up this time, mate. You both will go.